Alright, sweet. The Deluxe Batman Returns figures. Well, Rocket Blast Batman, that's okay, I guess. He's got the wing spread. That's kind of... Wait a second. Firebolt Batman. This looks like a screen accurate... Well, other than the gold, looks kind of screen accurate to Batman Returns. He's got the scalloped armor and the leg armor. Maybe the figure's not gold. Wait a second. That's just a gold... It's gold, and the chest is regular. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be right. Get out of there. What? A rubbery armor overlay? What a disappointment. Disappointment. This looks like a screen accurate, well, other than the gold. A rubbery armor overlay? Disappointment. A rubbery armor overlay? And the chest is regular. What? Maybe the figure's not gold. What a disappointment. Today's 1989 Batman.com spotlight is on another of the Matthew Hackley custom Kenner creation Batman figures. This time around it's one from Batman Returns, and we're dubbing it the Batarang Blast Batman, which is kind of the excuse to get in the screen accurate version of Batman from Batman Returns. In case you didn't watch the first Matthew Hackley custom Kenner creation spotlight on Mayoral Mayhem Penguin, you should go check that out. The whole gist of this thing is that my friend and customizer Matthew Hackley has sort of agreed to finish off the Kenner lines for me and fill in some holes from the Dark Knight collection that didn't happen and some from the Batman Returns line that didn't happen. A couple of the major points that we wanted to hit was maybe fixing some of the ones that weren't really screen accurate before we move on to other characters. And so that's Mayoral Mayhem Penguin kind of fixes the whole missing DeVito Penguin from the line, and Batarang Blast Batman fixes the fact that they never did a screen-accurate Batman Returns costume. The closest they got, as you saw by that opening sequence, was the Firebolt Batman, and that's the basis for this figure, but Matthew's done a ton of work on it. Obviously the paint job's completely different. It's the more flat black of the suit as opposed to the gold. Let's actually get him out here, that Firebolt Batman, so you can see the differences as we're talking about it. So here he is next to Firebolt Batman, and the paint jobs are obviously very, very different. You've got a gold Batman over here and the flat black of the rubberized suit over here. He's also added the yellow belt. That was a kind of discussion we had back and forth, whether to do the gold of the Kenner stuff or do the yellow, and I kind of favored, if we were going to go screen accurate, going as screen accurate as possible, and Matt agreed that, you know, if we're going to do a screen accurate Batman right off the bat from Batman Returns, we got to go yellow, and then maybe later on the same mold will be used again by him and done in gold to kind of reflect the Kenner gold of the belt and the symbol. The legs, he had to do a little work on because one of these legs is actually a little longer than the other one, so he had to rework that, and then the major work has been on the chest, where it's been totally resculpted. Instead of using the Kenner body that they reused a bunch of times, which is a tweaked superpowers, he wanted it to look more, and I wanted it to look more like the Batman Returns scalloped armor. So that's what he's done here. He's kind of really tweaked that quite a bit. I don't know if we can maybe get that in a little closer so you can see a better look at that. Was that totally unfocused on me? There you go. And of course, as always, there'll be still pictures linked in the YouTube, in the info section, that'll take you to clearer pictures of all this, so you don't have to try and pause a video. Alright, so let's get Firebolt Batman out of here, and let's take him around. The existing sculpt is really not bad other than the torso. The arms and the legs are pretty accurate to the armor in the movie, and they just needed that new paint job to kind of push it over the edge and take it into a different figure, since it wouldn't have been Kenner style to just go, oh, here's Batman from Batman Returns, it's accurate. Matt did a couple of accessories for this one. First up is this, it's really tough to see, so you're really going to go to still pictures for this, is the remote control Batarang that he uses in the film. It's this one's sculpted to be in scale with him, and the other one is sort of Kennerized, where the projectile has been sculpted to look like the remote control Batarang, and then one of the Dark Knight launchers has been repainted with this snowy pattern, like a big chunk of snow and ice on the front. That's one of the things Matt wants to do, is carry across all the Batman Returns customs, is to do this sort of snowy effect to all of them. The Mayoral Mayhem Penguin had the umbrella with the snowy pieces on it, and now this one has snow all over the launcher, and it does still launch. There it goes. I don't know if you can see that really well, but it's been sculpted to look like his remote control Batarang. So there's all of that. Let's take a look at him with other figures here. Let's bring out Mayoral Mayhem Penguin again. So there he is next to him. And then we'll put Catwoman over here. Wait. The Penguin, the Bat, and the Cat. No, that's not right. Let's try that again. The Bat, the Penguin, and the Cat. No. That's not right either. Let's see. Ah, here we go. The Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin. There. So I'm pretty happy now to have screen-accurate versions of Batman and Penguin to go along with the fantastic job Kenner did on the Catwoman figure. I guess that's about it for this opening sequence. We can just take it over to the couch now and do our full-on review. Hey everybody, welcome to another 1989batman.com merchandise spotlight. This is another one of those Matthew Hackley custom Kenner creations.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. As you can see by the opening sequence, we're taking a look at what Matt Hackley and I have dubbed Batarang Blast Batman. And this is probably the second. We talked about during the Penguin review, like one of the worst things about the Kenner Batman Returns line was that there was never a movie accurate Penguin.
Yeah.
The second most
bothering.
The second most bothering thing is that they never did a movie accurate Batman. Like they never did him in his costume. The closest you could get, as you saw by the opening sequence, was the Firebolt Batman, which had... Go ahead.
It's a weirder color.
It's a strange color. It has the right kind of arm, a new arm sculpt and a new leg sculpt that are the right on for what they should be. The chest, though, is kind of the same old chest. And the overlay that you put on him that has this rocket pack or whatever actually has the correct kind of chest armor. But even when you get it on there, it's black and he's gold, and it's just kind of...
It looks weird. The symbol's kind of...
Well, I think it was brighter when it first came out. It just kind of faded over time. But yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, there's not much you can do here.
This is not Batman Returns.
This is not Batman Returns. So when Matt and I were talking about the line and what we would have wanted Kenner to do back then, one of the top things was a Batman Returns accurate figure. Where his armor is accurate.
Right.
Kind of fixing the Firebolt Batman, using the arms and legs from that figure, but maybe giving it a new chest, which is kind of what Kenner may have done back then. What were you saying? And what?
And a new color, too.
A new paint job, yeah. And we talked a little bit back and forth about this paint job. Should it be with the Kenner Gold, or should it be movie accurate with the yellow? And my thought was that, man, if you're going to go ahead and do it, I would love to see it movie accurate to start with, and not go Kenner Gold. Just go full on accurate, just to get that done out of the way. Like an accurate Batman Returns Batman. But with Kenner, it wouldn't just be, here's movie accurate Batman, that's what we're going to call it, that's going to be released as.
Right.
They would have used it as a spot for something else. Like Skywinch Batman, they used that as a spot to do the blue and gray Batman.
Right.
They would have done something. So we talked about this action feature that he has, this figure has, where he squeezes his legs and he moves his arm forward.
Oh, you kept that?
Yeah, he kept the action feature in there. I didn't do it. He did it. And I thought that maybe you could do, like, the Batarang that he has in the movie, the remote control one, which we'll look at right now. I was thinking that maybe that would be a good opportunity to throw in that Batarang, and maybe you could just put it in his hand, and he would squeeze the legs and throw it. And they were both like, well, would it be strong enough to throw it? So he went ahead and sculpted a movie-accurate, kind of scaled, remote-control Batarang to put in his hand, that maybe he could throw. But, as we both kind of thought, this feature wouldn't work for throwing. It just isn't strong enough to throw it. So So Matt said, you know, what they probably would have done was they probably would have brought out that launcher again and done a sculpted piece that looks like it, that would have been larger scaled and kind of bigger, you know, sort of like the combat belt Batman design for the launcher, and it would have looked like the remote controlled one. And then you can done the squeeze leg feature to kind of raise up the gun, and then he would have fired the Batarang out of there.
I love what he did with it too, like
Put the ice all over it?
Yeah, that's really cool. That seems like something Kenner would have done.
Exactly. Yeah, that was his thought. He said, you know what I would like to do across the board for all the Batman Returns customs is to do like a snowy look to them. So that's why Penguin's umbrella thing that he did has like that frost on the blades, and he put like a bunch of snow and frost on the front of the launcher to distinguish it from, you know, Crime Attack Batman or something like that, and making it sort of a more unique accessory for him, doing the remote control sculpt up front, and then the icy pattern all over the
you know, it'd be cool to do sometime.
the launcher. What's that?
Like a commercial with that Batman and that Penguin. Like we could make like an old-fashioned Kenner.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really neat. I would love to do that. Well, let's talk about this Batman Returns suit a little bit. I enjoyed the Batman Returns redesign, and I'm glad that they just didn't repeat the first one and they went kind of far away from the first one. You know, they really distanced themselves from what it looked like in the first movie. I thought that was really cool. And as a kid, I was pretty disappointed that I couldn't get a figure of that look.
Yeah, the closest you got was that.
That Firebolt.
Well, I was saying like.
Oh, the 15-inch? Yeah. That one has at least an accurate costume.
But you can't really play with that with your other Kenner
You can't,
toys.
no. So it's really cool to finally have one that's this suit. And to have it in this scale and kind of matching everything else. And now I'm going to have an accurate Batman, Penguin, and Catwoman all together to kind of complete the trio from Batman Returns, which is really awesome.
The Cat and the Penguin.
Bat the Cat and the Penguin. So I guess that's about it for this, right? I love the figure. I'm super happy to finally have one. Thank you again, Matthew Hackley. He does commission work. I believe his website is mhackley, which is mhackley.blogspot.com. But there'll be a link in the info section if you want to check it out. Plus, there'll be a link for more pictures of this, like still pictures you can check out and see Batarang blast Batman in all his glory. Right? So we're going to sign off on this one, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.